Registering a tenancy deposit on your TDS custodial database can be done in a few simple steps. If you're an agent and you have multiple branches registered under your TDS custodial account, you'll firstly need to make sure you're within the correct branch that you want to register the deposit under. The next step from here will be to select deposit management. This is where you can view your existing deposits that you have protected, as well as commence the process of adding a new deposit. Once within deposit management, you'll see an icon on the right-hand corner that says add a new deposit. If you select this, you're starting the process. With TDS Custodial, we store the property details. Therefore, if it's a property you've previously added to your database, you can select yes and start typing the address of the property you're looking for, or you can use the drop-down function to select it from the list. If it's not a property you've added before, you'll need to select no, and this allows you to then manually enter the tenancy details. Alongside the property details, you're adding the landlord details. This is because we take the landlord information to pre-populate the prescribed information for you. From here, you'll be asked to enter the deposit details. This includes the rent amount, the deposit amount, and also the amount you want to protect. This amount can be a lesser amount than the total deposit amount. This is to be used in instances where a deposit has perhaps been paid in installments or has been paid in a share by one tenant and you're awaiting the final share. You can use this to protect a lesser amount and then top up the deposit at a later time. You'll need to tell us when the deposit was received, as well as the tenancy start date. We auto-populate the expected end date, but you can override this if there's something a bit more unique. You're asked to enter the number of tenants on this particular deposit registration, and this is really important because it dictates the number of tenants you can add at the final stage. You can also add in a deposit reference, but this isn't optional. The final step in the process is adding in the tenant details. TDS Custodial operates a lead tenant model, and therefore, if there are more than one tenant, the first tenant that you enter into this section will automatically become the lead tenant. You can change this at a later date if you need to. You'll need to tell us the tenant's title, their first name, and their surname. You'll also then need to provide their contact details. Email is the best form of contact for us to have in order to engage with tenants. If we receive a tenant's email, they will receive an automatic email from us to confirm the protection of their deposit, as well as to activate their accounts. It's also the best way for us to engage with the tenant at the end of the tenancy and encourage them to respond to any repayment requests or action needed. You also have the option to add in a relevant person. A relevant person will be someone who has a vested interest in the deposit. This may be someone who's perhaps paid the deposit on behalf of the tenant. This is an optional section, so you can select no if you don't want to populate that. Once you've added in all the details, you'll be provided with the review stage. This is where you can check on the details, what you've added, making sure you're happy with all the information and that it's accurate. If there's anything that you spot that needs amending, you can obviously edit that as you go. Once you're happy with all the details, you have a few different options in terms of your next steps. You can select to add another deposit. This will take you right back to the beginning. It will store these details, but allow you to add another deposit. You can select to save and pay later, which stores this tenancy's details, taking you back to the deposit management page, allowing you to manage further deposits and come back to this one later. Or you can select to pay the deposit now. This will take you to the different options you have in terms of paying the deposit.